Hello vinyl community, welcome back to my home, sitting here in front of my 7-inch collection, and I'm here to do a little vinyl update for August. But first of all, I'm going to do a little memoriam again, a little tribute to an artist that has sadly passed away, a favorite artist of mine. Björn at 78 RPM blog also mentioned this in his latest video, and but I'm also a huge fan of the Swedish comedy duo Magnus and Brasse, and I think night to Saturday Brasse Brännström, born Lars-Erik Brännström, sadly passed away, 69 years old, and I'm really a huge fan of Magnus and Brasse because they were a comedy duo that making great irony over the Swedish society in the 70s, but they did it with some kind of a really smile on their face, and with an easy and simple humor that at the same time was absolutely perfect and very, very funny. And it reached the heart of the Swedes very much. And this Brasse Brännström, he often played characters that were a little naive, sometimes a little bit stupid, but at the same time he played them with a smile from ear to ear, and it was always an sort of undertone in the lyrics. They were very thoughtful lyrics that made you think, actually. So I really loved them very, very much, and I thought that Brasse Brännström were a very, very funny comedian, excellent comedian, actually. And unfortunately he's not among us anymore. I also loved some of his more serious roles that he did. And as a tribute to Brasse Brännström, to show a record, Björn showed another record, Varning för barn, and I thought it would maybe I shouldn't show the same record, so I took this one. Magnus och Brasse levande på nya Backe, live at New Backe. Backe is Backe Weapon, a nightclub that was in Stockholm in the 70s where many Swedish artists played in. This is a very, very funny live show that they had recorded on LP from 1974, and some of the Magnus and Brasse's most famous stuff is here, and really awesome, really great record that I love very, very much. And I want to say thank you, Brasse, for all your laughter, and rest in peace. Well, now let's move on to a little more happier stuff. Vinyl update for August it was. And August has been a pretty good month for record buying. I've been able to find a lot of very interesting stuff in various formats and in various genres. And I'm going to do like this. I'm going to take the newest album first, and I'm going to step backwards in time until the oldest recordings last. It's kind of interesting. In one of my previous videos, I did Matthew Smith's Decade Challenge when I moved from the 20s until today, and now I'm going the opposite way, from the today backwards in time. But still, here is my findings. We start with a CD from 2001 with recordings mostly from the 90s. It is a collection that I felt like I gotta have this one, because I realized I didn't have it. I had I have a previous collection, Immaculate collection from 92. So I guess you have found out by now that it is Madonna and her second collection, Greatest Hits Volume 2, GHV2, from 2001. Consisting her mostly 90s songs, really a collection of great Madonna songs, some of the best songs. Okay, that was the newest one. now going back to the 80s, and I haven't been able to find all that much 80s. I don't know. Is it because I already have all the 80s I need? No, probably not. Probably a temporary setback. But I was able to find a record with a group that I wanted to explore for quite some time. I heard them in a Swedish radio show called Eldorado, and I got very interested in them. And I now had a perfect moment and found the perfect record to start to explore this band. Sniffing the Tears. This is an album Love Action from '81. Sniffing the Tears is a great band. Sounds a little art rock style, and with some 80s radio rock style in the production. Love this album very, very much actually when I heard it. It's very relaxing and great melodies. I really love the melodies, and I think it is a great, great album. So I'm going to start buying more Sniffing the Tears album. Absolutely. From 1981 is it? Also found a single, John Fox, Dancing Like a Gun. John Fox, former member of Ultravox. He was on their first 3 albums before he went solo. I heard a lot of John Fox and his music, but I never actually found any records with him, so I was very happy to find this one, even though it's just a 7-inch single. Now moving even more back in time to the 70s, I found a great deal of 70s records. There's some really great 70s records anyway. Here's Radio. It is the band that was the start band for Ray Parker Jr., the man with the Ghostbusters. And I listened to this one. It's extremely funky and danceable and great album. I really love this album. Some great ballads, but most of all a really, really funky and groovy soul album from 1977. Consisting what I think is Radio's biggest hit single, Jack and Jill. But this is a highly recommended album if you like funk and soul music from the 70s. More 70s soul. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I think it is in a little softer style than Radio. This is Manhattan's Kiss and Say Goodbye from 76. No, the most famous hit single on this album is Kiss and Say Goodbye. The album is self-titled. But Kiss and Say Goodbye, the single, is a very emotional and sad ballad that I like very, very much, and made me discover that this band might be really, really good. So hopefully it'll be a good one. There is an artist that I also started to discover more and more that I like very, very much. At least her pop style. She sings both country and pop music. Not that into country music, so I listen mostly to her pop ballads. And I showed her in a previous vinyl update, I think. Anne Murray. I like her more mature voice. She's a great, great relaxing voice. And this is her album Together from 1975, consisting some great faster tracks also, but most of all it is an album that has awesome and really relaxing ballads, including a song that she does with her brother actually. So really, really good album. I think everybody knows by now that I like Hammond organ music very much, and I was happy to find an interesting Hammond organ album. The organist Lenny D, and at the Hammond organ, Lenny D. This is an album where it plays mostly jazz tunes, jazz music on Hammond organ, so this is going to be very interesting. Now, going another step back in time to the 60s. I said before that I don't listen to 60s music all that much, even though there are some very great songs, no doubt about it, but it's not my main priority to buy records from 60s. But I was able to find one that I just have to have. My absolute favorite 60s album is Elvis Presley's From Elvis in Memphis. I really love this album. It is, I think it is a little more mature Elvis, first of all, but I think it is very relaxing. It's awesome produced, and especially there are two songs on that album that I like very much. It is In the Ghetto, that I think is an awesome song with very thoughtful and great lyrics. And it's most of all it's a song that I found one of the best songs ever made. It is a song called Any Day Now. I think the production is awesome. I really love the strings. I like this song very, very much. But I always thought that song was an album track. I never knew that it was in any kind of single. On any kind of single. But I was really happy when I, for a very cheap price, was able to find this one. A 7-inch single of both In the Ghetto and Any Day Now. Asked for From Elvis in Memphis on LP and LP album. On LP album. I was very, very happy to find this one. This might be in the chart of best findings of 2014 when the year comes to an end. Great RCA release. So this one I was extremely happy to find. Now stepping even more back in time, but it's a little divided when it comes to this one, because most of the recordings here are from the 70s, but we're coming to now a part on showing just jazz records, and jazz for me is mostly from the 50s and back, so since I'm now showing jazz, I take this album right now. I was able to find actually a very interesting collection from the record label Pablo. Pablo released some interesting jazz records in the 60s and in the 70s, and here they have managed to put together a collection with the best songs from some of the best album releases in a double LP. And it says here, Norman Granz of Jazz at the Philharmonic fame presents the Pablo collection. And here we have some really great jazz names, some of the best names: Ella Fitzgerald, Harry Edison. You have Roy Eldridge in 2 songs. You have Count Basie both in orchestra and trio. You have Duke Ellington with a quartet, which is not often you hear. Dizzy Gillespie. You have Paulinho da Costa and Milt Jackson, Eddie Locke, Joe Davis. So this is going to be very, very interesting to listen to, even though some of the songs here are more modern than I'm used to, but I think it's going to be very interesting. Now coming to a couple of records that I bought yesterday. No, not yesterday, 2 days ago. At a second-hand store, I was able to find 2 records with one of my absolute favorite jazz pianists, Oscar Peterson. One of them is played here in the background, and it is the older one. Both of them are reissues, but the recordings are from 59 and 60. This is one from 59, released on Verve, reissue as I said, the Duke Ellington Songbook, Oscar Peterson Trio. As you can hear, it is a pretty smooth and great jazz album, consisting just Duke Ellington songs in his own arrangements. You have all the great ones: Don't Get Around Much Anymore, Sophisticated Lady, Take the A-Train, Do Nothing Till You Hear From Me, and so on. But there are extremely great arrangements. I think many of them are even better than Duke Ellington's own versions, actually. But then, of course, as I said before, I'm not a huge Duke Ellington fan because I'm a little tired of the songs. So, but the trio here consists, besides Peterson, Ray Brown and Ed Thigpen. So So really, I listened to both of them. It's really good. This is a smoother one that are a little more traditional swing style and more relaxing jazz style. So this is I call it the easier one. The other one is this one. As you can see, the sleeves aren't in all that perfect shapes. They are a little worn out maybe, but still the music is very listenable. The Jazz Soul of Oscar Peterson, and this one is from 1960, also containing the same trio. And here is a little more experimenting with some Latin style and with some various little more. It's like a roller coaster on the piano. There, the album was finished. It's like a roller coaster on the piano with Oscar Peterson. Hold on, I'm going to turn the album around. So I have flip side on the record. So this one is like a roller coaster. It is full speed ahead on the piano by Oscar Peterson, and but I still like this one very much. It's a great album. So great verb releases. I'm very happy when I find great verb releases actually. Little EP I found, Count Basie Sextet from '56. The Basie Beat, Casey Organ Blues, Stan Shorthair and Blue and Sentimental. Let's go back to the 70s. I saw that I forgot one single that I bought actually, and I also had to show. It is a 70s pop soul single, The Real Thing, Can You Feel the Force? So, let's go back to the jazz music and back to the 40s we're coming to. I showed in a previous vinyl update that stack of CD records that I found at a second-hand store that had gotten in a collection of a stack of jazz CDs that I actually bought many records from, and I went in and bought 2 more CD records from the same place in the same collection. Here is a double CD set with Artie Shaw and his orchestra. These are live recordings. However, it's not a full concert. It is song recordings from different live shows from the same places. So I was too bad. I was looking forward for entire concerts, but still, it's great CD. Double CD is great orchestra and great songs. So still, it's great music nonetheless. The CD is Artie Shaw in the Blue Room and in the Café Rouge. It is 2 different nightclubs that it plays on. Released on RCA Victor Jazz Classics. So it is a great CD, even though it's not a full concert. Might ask who's Sweden's most famous jazz musician internationally, and my guess goes to clarinetist that is born here in my city, Sundsvall. Stan Hasselgaard, in Sweden born as Åke Hasselgaard. Stan Hasselgaard played with many American musicians as well as Benny Goodman. He played with Benny Goodman and his sextet, and Benny Goodman was considered so great in USA that even Benny Goodman himself were scared of Stan Hasselgaard. He was scared that Stan Hasselgaard would take his crown as the king of swing in the 40s. So, unfortunately, he never had the chance because he died in a car crash in 1948, way too young. But I was able to find an album that I had before in a cassette copy. So now I have it on CD. Released on Fantastic, The Permanent Hasselgaard. The Permanent Hasselgaard. Stan Hasselgaard, 1945 to 48. So it is some really great American names, Benny Goodman names. Benny Goodman, World Great, Teddy Wilson, Tyree Glenn is on this record, as well as Swedish jazz musicians. There are some recordings here also with Swedish musicians. So really, really great swing album. Really, really awesome for his swing. So with that, I'm looking forward now for September and the records I might find in this month. So I hope you enjoyed this very, very much, and I hope to see you soon. And until next time, have a very nice weekend and beginning of the next week, and so long.